So, first of all, there's robot. Robots are very popular in South Korea. So they actually have the highest density of robots in the world because they are not only used in factories but also as prison guards, waiters, or even teachers. Think about that. Imagine teachers being replaced. If in the US we actually decide to do that, there will be a huge uprising, right? Second of all, prison guards. Do you even feel safe using robots for prison guard? The people who are trying to, for humanitarian reasons, will go up and be like, hey, it's inhumane. What if the prison becomes an issue? The same issue with auto driving. So you can see that it's very interesting. So I have a clip when I was in Korea about being served by the waiters. So actually I was ordering at Myeongdong Kyeoja, I believe. I forget what the name of it is. I was at Myeongdong. I was getting soup and noodles. And the waiter was a freaking robot. I had a surprise. Oh, I didn't realize I would take that myself. So that's the first one. Also in South Korea, in a land of calm, right? It's not just women or performers who like their faces to be awesome. Also, 20% of the male population also wears makeup. So what does that mean? That means just in South Korea alone, monetarily, that amounts to almost $900 million spent a year. Just look at the categories of all the areas that they use it on. Lotion, foam cleanser, skin, body cleanser, perfume. I mean, just look at the entire list. It's huge, right? Sunscreen, body lotion, lip balm, cream, wax, mask. I mean, look at all the stuff. BB cream. I don't even know what some of those are. But you see that it's actually very popular in South Korea. Let's look deeper into the top categories. What percent of people actually use, right? Of all the male consumers, what they use. So, look at the top categories. Lotion, foam cleanser, and skin. Those are significant. 72% of them use lotion. I guess I'm one of them too, since I use lotion, but still. Look at the other one, the second category, it's foam cleanser. I don't know what that is. Skin. Okay? To be honest, the only thing that I use is lotion. That's it. Everything else, I don't use. So you can see that it's a big, big market in South Korea when it comes to makeup and taking care of your skin for men. Now, when you think about taking pictures, what do you think about it? You obviously say cheese in the US. So that might be a bad thing. Cheese, get some cheese, awesome. But in South Korea, if you want everybody to smile, you have to say kimchi, which is a pickle cabbage side dish. So you can see that even just taking pictures, you have to say things that's different. So that's one difference. You don't say cheese, but you say kimchi. Like kimchi. So for red ink, in the United States, we use all kinds of different colors of ink in our writing. While it is most professional to use black or blue ink, especially for formal writing, Americans are not very shy with other colors too, like red. So even markups with pens, pencils, what I want to call it on my papers, I often see red marks. However, in South Korea, red is a very important thing. You will never see a name written in red. It's a pretty bad sign. It means that the person is either dead or going to die soon. So, looking at this chart, we can see, look, red is a symbol of death. Why? Same as blood. You never want to write anyone's name in red in South Korea. Second thing, in the past, you look at that, the great prince Suyang actually used red ink to make a hit list of all the enemies. So when people write names, it could seem that you're writing a hit list too. Also, red ink was used to make sure that people were dead or confirm that people were dead during the Korean War. So don't use red ink in Korea for safety reasons, if you can remember this rule. Another thing is beards. You may have seen pictures in history books, even on the old currency, that South Korean history with beards, some of them very, very long. But today, a man with a beard is considered dirty and unkempt. No matter how groomed his beard may look, this isn't about just what a romantic partner would think about this, but more on a societal level. Wearing a beard might even deter you from getting a job. It's socially not acceptable if you want to be at the upper echelon or you want to be accepted in a Korean society. So I would strongly encourage people with a beard to shave that off if you're going to be in Korea long term, or if you're a tourist, you will be looked at and judged accordingly. After all, Korea, or South Korea, is known to be the plastic surgery of the world. So appearances matters a lot. So usually renting a room for just one evening or even just a few hours is not something we're used to in the United States. Sure, remote work allows us to do that now. It's more acceptable. But in South Korea, it's for a different purpose. They're called love motels. So instead of saying it's a bad thing, they actually embrace it as a type of date because it gives couples more privacy. One thing is different between South Korea and the US is it's not very common for South Koreans, or should I say not uncommon, for South Koreans to live under their family's roof well into their 20s and even 30s until they get married. Because that's been so widely accepted, there are now a variety of options for people to do that in South Korea. There are quick, no frills, cheap places for evening or hours. And there are places that's oozing with luxuriousness and opulence. Also, Microsoft is the king in South Korea. But the thing is, most places allows multiple internet browsers for different purposes like banking and shopping. However, South Koreans must use Internet Explorer, both exclusively and by law, since 1999. Now, if the previous Microsoft is not bad enough, there's a thing called crime recreation. So, fans like shows like Law and Order, CSI, and Arrest, well, might like this about South Korea. For example, suspects who have been accused of crimes like murder or rape might have to be required to recreate that crime in public. Not only is the public allowed to spectate on this, so is the media, which means it can irreparably damage a person's name and reputation. This freaking sucks. Imagine how humiliating it is. I guess that's one way to make sure people don't commit these type of crime unnecessarily. If you ever visit South Korea or any of the East Asian countries, you might notice that number 4 is almost never seen, because that's the equivalent to our 13. It's known as an unlucky number. Not only because it's unlucky, because the word also sounds very similar to the word death. So you'll be hard pressed to find number 4 in an elevator. If looking for a place to live that's a 4 in it, you're basically pushing your luck. But also, if you buy it, you're kind of dumb, because that means your property value and your place might even be lower going forward. Lastly, you will hear this a lot. Instead of asking, "How are you?" they will ask, "Have you eaten?" Well, so when a Korean asks you about this, they don't really care, to be honest, if you're hungry or how healthy you're eating. So, your answer should always be yes. Like when people ask you, "How are you?" you don't say, "Terrible." You say, "Fine." And that's it. It's simply a greeting, nothing more. Remember that.